Let's have a look at this scene from this Titania speech from Act 2, Scene 1 of A Midsummer Night's Dream. She's telling Oberon that there is no way she is going to part with the changeling boy that is staying with her. Oberon, of course, wants this boy to be his henchman. She tells Oberon to set his heart at rest, and at the conclusion she says, "For her sake I will not part with him." Well, who's this her? The her is a votress of her order, that is, a woman who used to worship her. The woman was so important to her that they actually had a friendship. So this passage describes the friendship and then concludes with the reason, which in my mind is quite powerful, that she will not give this boy up. There's a lot going on in this passage. First of all, the meter. It's iambic pentameter, and this meter emphasizes certain words. The last term that I've got on this list here is anaphora, and that anaphora applies to these last two lines. Now, anaphora is a rhetorical technique that means one repeats a phrase at the beginning of a line to emphasize an idea. So these two sentences begin with the same phrase, and for her sake. So it's emphasized that Titania is keeping this boy for the sake of this woman who was her friend. But it's even more than that, because using the scansion of iambic pentameter, certain words are emphasized. And for her sake. So this word sake is emphasized. In other words, it's all about her. And here we've got the emphasis on the word I. And for her sake do I rear up her boy. And for her sake I will not part with him. Again, will is emphasized in the next line. It's not going to happen, she seems to say. Oberon, of course, manages to change all this, but that's part of a bigger story. When we look at her reasoning, the Titania's reasoning, she is describing her friendship with this woman. And the friendship is described in gorgeous ways and using really interesting language. She says, his mother was a votress of mine order. A votress is someone who prays to her. And in the spiced Indian air by night, full often hath she gossiped by my side, as if they're equals, and sat with me upon Neptune's yellow sands. It's not upon, it's on, because this is 5 beats per line. And sat with me on Neptune's yellow sands. Neptune, of course, is the god of the sea, and so she's alluding to the god. That makes it an allusion. In addition, we've got a really interesting metaphor. They watch the sailing ships go by, and they see the sails fill up with air, and they compare, and Titania compares this idea of the sail filling up with air with this woman, her friend's belly growing larger as her son grows. When we have laughed to see the sails conceived and grow big-bellied with the wanton wind. We've got alliteration going on here. We've got one special kind of alliteration, the S alliteration, to see the sails conceive. That's also known as sibilance. We've also got 2 examples of alliteration right here. Grow big-bellied with the wanton wind. Big-bellied, wanton wind. And wind is being compared to a wanton, to somebody who is promiscuous, as if the wind is promiscuously filling all of these sails with itself. Eventually, of course, this woman imitates the wind, or imitates the ships, which she, with pretty and with swimming gait following, her womb then rich with my young squire would imitate, and sail upon the land to fetch me trifles, and return again, as from a voyage, rich with merchandise. Notice there's also a repetition here. The word rich is mentioned here, and also here. Her womb was rich with the young squire, and when she would go off on errands to fetch things for Titania, she would come back rich with merchandise, as if that boy is also some kind of a present to Titania. At any rate, there are many different things happening here, and all of these apply in this piece. Hope you enjoyed that.